Alright, so this is game two of best of three semifinals. It's YAMATO versus Blue Queen. Now, Queen is swinging for 5 here. Opponent takes it, decides to use a trigger, discards a card out their hand, which tends to be a Thunderbolt. The Queen player plays a bow and then passes. The YAMATO player gets to 5 down, he draws a turn. The YAMATO player is thinking here. He's gauging the count of both field and life to see what's the best line here. This round started roughly. Hold on. I can tell you right now. $10:43. The round was started roughly 17 minutes ago. The round was started 17 minutes ago. Alright, so they got a Charlie Burley off of life. Swinging for 6 and drawing with the Boa Hancock. Really strong play here. YAMATO discards a 2K. He's thinking here whether to take it or discard a card. He decides to discard a card to keep life intact. I guess trying a new approach this game. Feels pretty solid or strong. Goes 5 to the Boa to see if he can bait out cards. Baits out 1. Then he plays a Mom. Doesn't know if his opponent can give him a card or not. Gives him a card for life. Now it's the Queen player's turn. Queen player's thinking here. 2 Boas. Oh, and that's a Katakuri and puts it on the bottom of life. Now putting the YAMATO player up to 6 life, but giving him a card in exchange for clearing a card. Very smart play from the Queen player. Now it's the YAMATO player's turn. The YAMATO player has 5 cards in hand. They're currently gauging the board to see what they're doing and assessing the board state. They attacked and then they played a YAMATO just to pop a Boa. Then the YAMATO got blown back by a Gum Gum Rock. Thus following up with a Dolphy, putting him at just 1 over the threshold of 4 to be able to fully utilize the Queen effect. Yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of from the other day. Alright, so attach to Dawn. They're gonna attack, draw a card to get the extra point of advantage here. The YAMATO player discards a card, putting him down to 3. Then he draws a 4 for turn, going up to 10 Dawn. The YAMATO player thinks about what is a clean, concise play to go for here. Contemplating, redotting up, They're going 9 to face or the Boa Hancock, which then gets defended by the Dolphy. Then the Yamato plays 4-drop structure deck Katakuri and passes the turn. Now it's the Queen player. Queen player's at 10 Dawn, open with a field of Corona, Boa Hancock, and Katakuri with 5 cards in hand. Now, they're at 5, 9. Oh, plays the Yamato 9-drop just to get rid of the 4-drop Katakuri. Now the Queen player is just building a board at this point. Very strong and very oppressive. Attacks for 5. The Yamato player is contemplating whether to defend or not. With 3 cards in hand. Contemplating. Wait for it. Alright, decides to take the life. Then chooses to use the trigger to bring out Sanji 4-drop. This has been quite a scary game from the Yamato standpoint, as they are not able to consistently deal with all that removal and a board presence. Queen player swings her face at 8. Yamato, defending player, decides to take the attack and take the life. Queen player passes. Now the Yamato player goes to 4 cards in hand with 2 life. With this, they play Yamato to pop the Boa Hancock. Going to Yamato to Queen face for 5. So like, I'm always an advocate to say that, like, openly, like non-biasedly, like not towards the game. I have a very biased opinion on Yamato where I think she absolutely sucks. And if you play her, like, you're either really lucky or like your opponent's just really bad. Because like the Queen deck or the Big Bomb decks just seem like the superior recovery decks. Queen just seems like it just recovers a lot more in the late game situation, whereas a lot of decks aren't able to deal with that kind of like grind game recursion. The Yamato deck just like it feels like a strong 2-drop, like a 2-life deck, right? Because it becomes like 6, but doesn't feel strong at all. It feels pretty bad, man. It feels pretty bad indeed. Queen player also now summons a Boa and passes. Okay, so now it's the Yamato player's turn. Yamato player has 4 cards in hand. Thinking about the line. Yamato player declares attack. Declares attack to Queen leader. 9 to 5. Queen player decides to guard with Boa Hancock, drawing a card. Now, Queen player is also trying to decide whether or not to counter out or not to counter out to get full utility of creating a board to try to close out on the game from what it looks like. To Admiral Turtle, I 100% agree with what you said in the chat. That is a very bold observation about this matchup. The Boa Hancock dies. Now, the Yamato player downs up for 2 and attacks leader for 7. Gets hit with a 0-drop Gum Gum card. Follows up with playing cards in your hand. It is 4. 4 cards in hand. 4 cards in the Yamato player's hand with 2 cards on forward, plays a cracker, and plays a katakuri, looks at life, and then passes. Yes, I do agree that Gum Gum Rain and Queen is very spicy. Now, the reason why I think it's very spicy is because it allows you to fix those situations in which, like, you need to decrease your hand size so that you're able to essentially recover life much more effectively in game. Which I think is it's very, very smart, right? Because now it allows you to keep up with your curve in your late game stance without you having to overcommit cards or lines to its existence. The Queen player here is thinking about what to play and what the next line will be. With 2 big titans in the form of Katakuri and 9-drop YAMATO. Okay, he decides to swing 9 to 9 YAMATO. YAMATO player is thinking. Decides to discard a 2K to make it 11. There's only 1 card in the YAMATO hand. There's only 1 card in the YAMATO player's hand. 1, just 1. Okay, and he plays a Davey. With that effect, he gets to look at the top 5 cards of his deck, and he gets to place them in any order. Being able to utilize that with Queen's leader effect is really good. It allows them to basically alter and stack their top deck of life, right? Which also allows them to either get more blockers, more control cards. It creates a wide door of options, which is very good for life manipulation for the Queen deck. Here he dons up 1 to Katakuri. I think he's trying to crack the YAMATO per se in this position. I think YAMATO player is trying to hold down their fort as much as possible so that they're able to close out the game. Alright, he goes Katakuri, 11 to YAMATO, gets blocked by Brule. Queen, 6 lead, gain a life. They take it and they get back 7-drop bomb. They draw for turn, going back to 3 cards. Having to contest 2 blockers and 2 big bodies, with only 3 main attackers and 1 blocker, might be a very hard sell this turn for a YAMATO player to come back and close out on the game. YAMATO player plays a 7-drop mom. My honest opinion in this game state, I don't think the Queen player was going to risk losing a life over this. But because of the board of which they're presenting to their opponent, they could just probably close out the game much quicker or not care for the end result because their board is just bigger and better. Correct. There's only a few decks in the OP game right now that can deal with a proper Queen player, but like Queen might be the best recovery combo deck in the game, realistically. So the Yamato player swung for 8 to the Katakuri and got comboed out. Doesn't attack with the 9-drop Yamato. That's piqued my curiosity. Queen player plays another Yamato. Gets rid of the Brule. Starts cracking the board. Very strong here. Very strong indeed. The Yamato player seems to be having a hard time with 0 cards in hand, and it looks like their fool is just completely out of steam. Well, the Queen player has been able to keep generating bodies turn after turn. That's just become a very downhill game very quickly. Yamato player is thinking here. If he trashes it, loses too much defense value. Queen is good against yellow, but even better against Yamato, because both of them get to play. Against Yamato, no risk of 10 draw, which generates a 2 life difference and gives a 12k body. Yes, I agree with that point entirely. Takes a life. Contemplating using trigger or not. Does not use a trigger. Takes 9 to the face. Recovers 1. Swings for a 6 to face. Dawns up. And swings for 15. And that was the conclusion of game 2 out of 3. That was an insane game.